Today we're going to be talking about who's had the most influence in your life. So who's had the most influence in your life? For me, it was my father. He was and still is one of the biggest influences in my life. He influenced my life in my decision to go to college for my first degree, and he also influenced it in the way that I act and that I treat people to this day. Firstly, we're going to be talking about how he influenced me to go to college for my first degree. The reason I did this was because he got sick back in December of 14, and he would always tell me that I need to go into something in the medical field, in nursing and, whatever it may be in the medical field. But I just didn't want to do the medical field. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. That just wasn't me. And so I did a little more digging because I would always help him with his stuff because he couldn't eat solid foods. He had to eat liquids, so I would always help him with that. And so I started looking into the different ways I can go into the medical field without being a nurse or an RN. And I came across what was called a medical laboratory technician. And that's basically just testing bodily fluids like blood and stuff in the lab. And so that's what I decided to go with. And shortly after I did this, he had passed away. And so I finished this degree for him, and I just went through and finished it and graduated and got it over with. Secondly, we're going to talk about how I act and how he influenced me on how I act and how I treat people to this day. He was just such an outgoing, caring, helpful person. He would just stop and he could help anyone. He would, if we were in town, he would stop, and just strike up a conversation with literally a complete stranger. And there was a time when I remember we were driving back, I think we were driving back from Carthage, and somebody had lost some boxes or something on the highway, and he followed them until, we were able to get his attention that, hey, you've lost these boxes on the highway. And he would do anything for pretty much a complete stranger. That's just the kind of person he was. So in conclusion, my father was the person who had influenced my life the most. He influenced my decision to go to college for my first degree, and so I graduated for that. And then he also influenced how I treat people and how I act and basically just who I am to this day. So, who influenced your life the most?